It is already time to pare down our playoff field from 16 to 12 drivers. Here's the round of 16 elimination race from Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Stop Motion Cup Series. Today, 43 drivers will take on this circuit for the first time in NASCAR Cup history. As we will have, going into this race, multiple drivers looking for a chance to get into the next round. Jimmie Johnson's win at Dover last week he's the only driver who is guaranteed to get into the next round as of right now. And at the very bottom we have Kyle Busch, 1 point below the cutoff line, and Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, and Joey Logano, who aren't necessarily in must-wins, but I would say that they have a very small chance of making it. Here are your ones to watch. Ryan Blaney is your pole sitter. Also, he is 8 points above the cut line. Jimmie Johnson, as aforementioned, won at Dover last week and is into the next round. Meanwhile, we have Denny Hamlin and Kurt Busch, who are only 1 point above the cut line each, with Kyle Busch being the driver who is 1 point below them. Drivers are ready to get off and rolling here. Here's your starting lineup from the Charlotte Roval today. Row 1, we have Ryan Blaney and Jimmie Johnson. Row 2, Greg Biffle and Kevin Harvick. Row 3, Jamie McMurray and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Row 4, Brad Keselowski, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Row 5, Kyle Larson and Trevor Bayne. Row 6, Clint Bowyer, Jeb Burton. Row 7, Danica Patrick and Tony Stewart. Row 8, David Reagan and Ty Dillon. Row 9, Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman. Row 10, Ryan Newman and Kyle Busch. Row 11, Matt DiBenedetto and Jeff Gordon. Row 12, Landon Castle and Joey Logano. Row 13, Kurt Busch and Justin Allgaier. Row 14, Carl Edwards and Bobby Labonte. Row 15, David Reagan and J.J. Yaley. Row 16, Martin Truex Jr. and Sam Hornish Jr. Row 17, Matt Kenseth and A.J. Allmendinger. Row 18, Casey Mears, Paul Menard. Row 19, Eric Almirola and Casey Kane. Row 20, Austin Dillon and Cole Witt. Row 21, Michael McDowell and Michael Annett. And last place on row 22, David Gilliland. Here are your keys to today's race. 8 laps. That'll be the shortest lap length race of the season. This is also the first ever time at this track, and it is also the elimination race for the round of 16. Here we go. Green flag is out. Time to see who makes it and who doesn't. As they made it through turn 1 without any troubles, here they are in the infield portion of the track. Ryan Blaney has established a lead over Jimmie Johnson. Through normal turn 2 here at Charlotte, they're going to experience the backstretch chicane. Looks like Greg Biffle's going to try to make a move on Jimmie Johnson from the inside, as they both go too wide into the front stretch chicane here, and Ryan Blaney has led the first lap. Here we go again, and looks like Greg Biffle is almost going to, and now he will actually make that pass on Jimmie Johnson, as he now sets his eyes on Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney is trying to hold off Greg Biffle going to the corner. Looks like Greg Biffle is going to get side by side with him going into the front stretch chicane. They indeed do, and Greg Biffle takes the lead over from Ryan Blaney. Here we are on board with Greg Biffle. We see Jeff Gordon misses the front stretch chicane, has to come to a halt as per is with the rule from issuing chicanes in this series. We see Kevin Harvick now making a move on Jimmie Johnson. Drivers are already starting to get spread out throughout the field, throughout this track here. come now to lap 4, almost halfway done with this race already. We have seen Kevin Harvick has in fact made his clean pass over Jimmie Johnson. Not much happening up in the front of the field now. As we see, oh, Tony Stewart gets into the wall. Caution is out. Tony Stewart's car simply doesn't turn or something like that. So you see he's in the wall. That'll be the end of the race for him. Possibly the end of the playoffs. Here's the replay of the incident. Looks like he just drove it too deep into the corner, and once he tried to turn it in time, he was already in the grass and had nowhere for his car to go except the wall. Everybody else is lucky that his car just rested up against the wall and he didn't come back out onto the track. So he will now be going to the garage. That second place finish at Dover last week might be the only thing that gets him into the next round. Here is this week's sponsor for the race, Checkered Flag Designs. Link to his channel in the description. Alright, time to get back going again. Greg Biffle, Ryan Blaney front row, green flag is out. Lap 6 of 8 here, and it looks like Ryan Blaney overdrives the corner. Big crash! Big crash in turns 1 and 2. At least 8 or so cars involved. Caution is out. Major playoff implications. See Ryan Blaney, Jimmie Johnson, McMurray, all others. The red flag has been displayed out on the track. What? As we now see, it looks like Ryan Blaney just overdrove the corner, came back out onto the track right in front of Jimmie Johnson. Pile up ensued behind them. Playoff drivers Blaney, Johnson, who had already advanced though, Earnhardt Jr., Keselowski, Boyer, even Larson got some damage there. This could be what playoff drivers Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, and Greg Biffle all needed. As we now have at least 7 playoff drivers, it looks like going to be having a poor finish in this round due to an incident. As we see here, cleanup still is going on here at the track. Looks like Kyle Larson and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will be able to continue in this race. Not so fortunate for the other drivers who have all gone out of the race. Joining Tony Stewart. Here we have it, the red flag has been lifted and we are back under caution conditions. Here are your highlights of today's race so far. Lap 1, we had the first lap on this configuration of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Here at the road course variety of the track. Then on lap 4, Tony Stewart brought the first caution to this particular circuit as he got up into the wall there. And just now on lap 6, we had a major pile up in turns 1 and 2. Drivers just aren't necessarily used to turning in that portion of the track. Nowhere for most of them to go. Anyways, it's time for us to head into overtime. Green flag is out one more time. Let's see if they can get it done this once. Greg Biffle establishes the lead over Kevin Harvick. We have Denny Hamlin and Ryan Newman right behind them. Denny Hamlin to the inside of Kevin Harvick. Greg Biffle might try to take advantage of this opportunity as his two main opponents right behind him are side by side going through the chicane. Looks like he got a little slow through the corner though, and Denny Hamlin might take advantage of this opportunity. He passes Harvick. He now looks like he's going to try to make a move on Greg Biffle. He does it right there. In the infield portion, he's going to pass Greg Biffle. They're going to be side by side going into the next corner. Greg Biffle has a little bit of a lead now over Denny Hamlin again. He clears Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin makes a move to the inside. Side by side through normal oval turn 3. Here we go, final corners. Denny Hamlin has a lead through the front stretch chicane, and he will win at the Charlotte Roval. What a crazy race, a crazy final lap this was. Denny Hamlin advances to the next round just like that. Wins the first Charlotte Roval race ever, as I probably haven't mentioned a few too many times now. Here's a replay of the final lap. At this point, we assumed Greg Biffle probably had a good chance of winning this race. With a few aggressive moves, Denny Hamlin managed to make it past Greg Biffle. We'll have to see if Greg Biffle made enough points in this race to advance over some of those other drivers. And here they were, side by side between normal corners 3 and 4. Denny Hamlin just had the advantage going through the chicane, and that was all it took for him to win by half a car length. Here are your official results for today's race. Top 3 were Denny Hamlin, Greg Biffle, and Kevin Harvick. For the back, we see Kyle Larson finishing 32nd, one of the drivers who was involved in that big wreck earlier. Here we have in our DNS, drivers Brian Blaney, Jimmy Johnson, and all those others behind them. Here are your playoff standings after this race. Denny Hamlin and Jimmy Johnson both got wins in this round, so they have advanced. And the 4 drivers that will be eliminated are Clint Bowyer, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. So here are your new playoff standings going into the next race. All drivers who advanced all have 3,000 points each, as is per this format. Here are the rest of your point standings. You see Matt Kenseth is still leading the drivers who did not make the playoffs. Put it back in the field and start to see some of the drivers we didn't expect to do a whole lot in the season. It looks like Brett Moffitt has managed to take over that lead in the rookie standings, though. We see Alex Bowman and Reagan Smith in the last 2 positions in the point standings. Congratulations to Denny Hamlin and his sponsors on making it to the next round and winning today's race at the Charlotte Roval. Hopefully you all enjoyed today's production and today's race. Our next race will in fact be at Kansas for the round of 12 opener. Hope you all enjoyed today's race. If you would, please like and subscribe to the channel, leave a comment saying how much you enjoyed this race. Have a great day.